Are you a beginner and you're not sure where to start with learning English? I have 5 beginner-friendly tips to get you started on the right path. I'll show you how. Let's get to it. Hello everyone, welcome back. And if this is your first time here, I'm Isabella, and in this video I want to share with you my 5 tips to learn English as a beginner. Tip number 1 would be to learn the verbs that you will use most often. My tip number 2 would be don't stress about grammar at this point. Tip number 3 would be to start with the very simple grammar. Number 4 would be to listen in very short quantities. Number 5 would be to focus on the words that are relevant in your life, and stick around to the very end for a bonus tip. My first tip would be to learn the words that you will use most often. These words would start with the most common verbs. The most common verbs would be ask, be, become, begin, call, can, come, could, do, drive, feel, find, get, give, go, have, hear, help, keep, know, leave, let, like, live, look, make, may, mean, move, need, play, put, run, say, see, seem, should, show, start, take, talk, tell, think, try, turn, use, want, will, work, and would. If you notice that have, like, and want are a little bit more bolded and more bright, that's because they are most used and most important. And I think that those are the ones that you will be using most often. In addition to learning some of the most commonly used verbs, you should also learn some of the most commonly used phrasal verbs. The list on the next 2 pages is something that I pulled out from the website, but you should learn the phrasal verbs that you'll be using in your daily life. For example, what I have here are break down, which means to stop functioning. This would be if something like a car or your washing machine breaks down. So our car broke down at the side of the highway in a snowstorm. That would be pretty dangerous. Calm down means to relax after being angry or stressed out. So the example is, you're still mad, you need to calm down before you drive the car. As a side note, it rarely works when you tell somebody to calm down. Catch up means to get to the same point as somebody else. You'll have to run faster than that if you want to catch up with Marty. To cut something off means to remove with something sharp. The doctors cut off his leg because it was severely injured. Yikes. It also means to stop providing, like the phone company cut off the phone service because we didn't pay the bill. To cut somebody off versus to cut something off means to take someone out of a will, or to stop providing something for someone, like if someone is taking advantage of you and you stop providing the help for that person. So my grandparents cut my father off when he remarried, but it can work for, like, I cut off my son because he was a lazy bum and he didn't want to get a job. For example, my son is still a teenager. To cut somebody off can also mean to move into someone's traffic lane suddenly. For example, the crazy driver cut me off when he wasn't paying attention. Here's some more example of phrasal verbs. To do something over means to do it again. So for example, my teacher wants me to do my essay over because she doesn't like my topic. To drop in or to drop by means to come without an appointment. I might drop in or I might drop by for tea sometime this week. You can also say I might come over. So that's the same thing, just said a different way. To eat out means to eat at a restaurant. I don't feel like cooking tonight, let's eat out. To figure something out means to understand or to find the answer. I need to figure out how to fit the piano and the bookshelf in this room. It must be nice to have a piano. To fill something in means to write the information in the blanks or on a form. So please fill in the form with your name, address, and phone number. To find something out means to discover. I tried to keep the time of the party a secret, but Samantha found it out. She's a really smart girl. So on the bottom, I have the website for you if you want to pause the video and write it down. Englishclub.com with the vocabulary and phrasal verbs if you want to study those and pick the ones that you think that you'll be using in your daily life. Continuing with learning the words that you will use most often, you should learn some of the simple adjectives when you're starting out. So some of the most simple ones are good, new, first, last, long, great, little, own, other, old, right, big, high, different, small, large, next, early, young, important, few, public, bad, same, able. Although I'm not quite sure if public is most commonly used one, but it was on the list of the 25 most commonly used adjectives. But start small. These are the 25 most commonly used ones according to a website, but see which ones that you will be using most often and learn those. And then, of course, you can expand from there according to what you talk about most often. Okay, here's a tip that I think some people might disagree with me on, but I think beginners should really not stress out about grammar too much. Yes, grammar is important, but my tip number 2 is to not worry about grammar too much. You should learn the basics, like the very simple rules, the subject, verb, object rule of making basic sentences, some usage of articles, very simple basic things to begin with. But to bog yourself down with complicated grammar rules can be, number one, very boring, and it can really make learning not fun at all. And number two, it could become too difficult at a beginner level, and it could be discouraging to a beginning learner. And not so secret, most native speakers really don't speak properly in a casual conversation. And if you don't learn grammar right off the bat, no one is really going to correct you anyway. So at this stage in the game, don't worry about grammar. Tip number 3, learn the 3 simple verb tenses first, and once you have those down, then you can learn the other ones. But as a beginner, don't worry about the difficult tenses just yet. Learn the present simple, the past simple, and the future simple. All the other ones will come in time. So for example, I have the tenses listed down below. The simple ones I have highlighted in orange, and the other ones I have in this burgundy red. So the present simple is I do, the past simple is I did, and the future simple is I will, or I will do, or whatever the word is. So if the word is have, the present simple will be I have, the past simple would be I had, and the future simple would be I will have. So just worry about those, and the other ones will come in time as your vocabulary improves. Tip number 4, start listening in short intervals, no more than 10 minutes at a time, just to get your hearing used to the sound of spoken English. Slowly at first, of course, and then maybe you can pick some YouTubers or some audiobooks or maybe even podcasts that are a little bit faster and maybe not too difficult in content, depending on, of course, your level. If you are an early beginner, start with maybe some short YouTube videos, again, under 10 minutes, maybe YouTube shorts, maybe an audiobook that you can stop after a few minutes. For entertainment only, you can do movies, but again, I don't know that as an early beginner, you will get a lot out of it. Even with subtitles, you may not understand. Songs, I think, may be a little bit confusing for learning. They're entertaining, of course, the beat is great, but I'm not sure that the pronunciation will be clear enough to learn anything from songs as an early beginner. Shows also, the humor, especially comedies or series, they may be a little bit too high to understand as an early beginner. Tip number 5 would be to learn the words that are relevant for your own life. So start with the words that are important for you, words that have to do with your daily routines, perhaps with food, your family, the weather, with your work, the things that you do every single day. If every single day you get up at 7 o'clock, you brush your teeth, you have some breakfast, this is a really boring, really boring morning. You drive to, I don't know, let's say McDonald's, and you get a small coffee and an egg McMuffin, and then you go to whatever job you do. And if this is your morning, then maybe this is your routine. So these are the types of words that you might want to learn. In English, well, probably in every language, we like to talk about the weather, we like to talk about how we feel, we like to talk about maybe the kinds of foods that we eat, we like to talk about ourselves, what are our favorite things. So try to think about the things that are relevant for you. Also, study up on some polite small talk. So how are you? How was your day? How was your weekend? If you know somebody went on vacation, so did you have a nice time? Did you see any nice, no, I don't know, monuments? Some polite conversation that you might encounter on every single day. Perhaps compliments. Maybe you work in an office. Maybe you have some coworkers that work pretty close to you. So compliments are pretty good way to get people to befriend you, to have a nice rapport with the people that you work with. So, hey, that shirt looks really great on you. Is it new? Did you get a haircut? You look really great today. I like your smile. Things that are, everyone likes compliments. So those are my tips for number 5. And a bonus tip, practice. Even at this early stage, you should practice. Practice often, practice your new vocabulary. Test yourself if you have a way to do so. Visit your favorite apps in your videos and review as often as you can. You probably learn new vocabulary every day or as often as you study. So if you have a spaced repetition system such as Anki or Memrise or Quizlet, then go ahead and use those. If you don't have them, I do suggest that you download something that can help you. The spaced repetition systems are sort of like electronic flashcards. They will help you learn vocabulary. My favorite language practice apps are HelloTalk. I use HelloTalk to practice languages. So if your level is at least an intermediate, then you can use HelloTalk to practice speaking. There's other apps such as Tandem, which I believe is free, and iTalki, which I believe you pay for a tutor. I don't use Tandem or iTalki, therefore I can't really speak to those. My favorite video tool, of course, is YouTube, where you can find content or TED Talks or podcasts. And I also like audiobooks with text on screen where you can pause and review and find vocabulary where perhaps you don't know the word and you can take notes. So those are my list of bonus tips. Thank you for joining me today. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment. I would really love to hear from you. If you liked my video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. I hope to see you again soon.